Battlefield 7.
Yes, sir.
So, according to studies and according to behavior, what causes the way we behave is the way we think, right? Just oopsie daisy, it's the way we think. But especially what's going on inside of our subconscious mind. A lot of times we don't know what's going on underneath the surface. And that causes our behavior today. All the influences externally and what we allow to enter our heads and what we allow ourselves to listen to, what we allow ourselves to look at, even what we allow ourselves to speak about, has created the person we are, or made us the person we are today. So if we are dysfunctional in any way, which the majority of us here have been dysfunctional in our past, it's because of the way we think. That's what the premise of belief therapy is about. Right? People do what they do because they believe what they believe. And the funny thing is sometimes we think we're over certain beliefs, and we think we're over certain things, and then we do something we thought we wouldn't do again, or think a certain way that we thought we were over, because we obviously haven't done proper work here. And the work is all your own. That's where the work actually is. We spend a lot of time focusing on the wrong thing, focusing on fighting each other, focusing on getting into arguments. Instead of realizing the only battle or the only argument you really need to win or to overcome is the one that's going on inside of you. Myself, top of the pops here, top of the pops in government, top of the pops, or bottom of the pops here, even the person, the meekest or the lowliest person, the way he's going to change his life is to change the way he thinks. And I think a lot of times, think about what you're thinking. Let me ask you guys this morning, last night, have you thought about what you're thinking about? Have you actually sat down or walked around and thought, not thought about what's going on with Arthur and Steve and all that, but you actually wondered or considered what's going on inside of you? How many of you done that recently? Actually looked at what you're thinking about, looked at how you feel about certain things, what you believe about certain things. I got home from college last night. I was dealing with a certain situation from Bethlehem, and obviously when I finally went to bed, my head was so busy, and I started looking at what was going on with people, what's going on there, and what's going on there, and just processing things and actually realizing how I felt about certain things. And if I allow myself to go by the way I feel, sometimes you want to give up. Have you ever felt that before? Is it surprising that I would say that you want to give up? Not give up in the sense of being a father or the sense of being a counselor, but you give up in the sense of when you watch other people and you know that you're giving them good advice and they don't take the good advice. Not because I'm anything super special. I've got experience and I've seen certain things over and over and over again. So my logical mind tells me if 10 things happen, 10 of the similar things happen, and the result is similar 10 out of 10, then at the end of the day what will happen now is obviously that the same thing will happen to the first 10. What rocket science. So the thing that frustrates me about it is that when you mention that you give advice and they don't adhere to the advice, or they think you don't know, or they think you don't see. So I was looking at myself and realizing that it frustrates me, but I know in my heart that this is what God wants me to do. This is what He wants me to do. This is what He wants to keep me doing. And it's nice to watch you guys and to see the change. It's one of the nicest things for me. It's one of the most rewarding things to see that 1 minute you're being full of nonsense, myself included. 1 minute I'm being full of nonsense and just something happens somewhere. Do any of you know, you guys have made a change in your being positive towards the process, and now if you've been negative, and you've gone from being negative to the process going to positive, do you actually know what happened? Do you know what happened? Do you know when it happened?
No, actually.
No. And that's the thing. And when you stay consistent and you focus on what's going on internally, sooner or later the change will come. But sometimes it's a bit difficult to hang in there. Summaries. Who's going to read me the summaries? Summary. Guy, you're very excited. Thank you very much. Steve. Who's that? You. And Kendall. So subject matter. Think about what you're thinking about. Please, Guy.
I said we need to be careful what we think about dark and negative thoughts and dark and negative actions which open us up to the temptations of the devil, because such thoughts make us vulnerable to him. What we think is who we are and determines what we do.
Amen.
Right. This chapter teaches us that we should be cautious about what we think about. Satan grabs a hold of our thoughts and makes us believe that our circumstances are what majority of the time keeps us miserable. Our thoughts affect our attitudes and moods. We need to press into the Word of God and meditate on it day and night. We must also apply what is written in God's Word. He then promises us that our lives will succeed and be prosperous.
I said, if our thoughts are in line with God, our behavior won't be either. When you have thoughts that are not the truth, dismiss them as they are not of God, so that they don't affect your behavior. When you allow your mind to wander, you probably end up adding a million other problems to the one problem you do have. God's answer is simple, and His yoke is light.
Okay, now ask a question. Whose responsibility is it for your thought process? Whose responsibility is it? Does anybody disagree? Does anybody think it's someone else's fault? Okay. So are we in agreement that we need to change the way we think to change our lives? Are we in agreement? Okay. So what practical steps can we take to change the way we think? Some of you guys have been here for a few months, some of you guys have been here for almost up to a year. So I'm going to ask you, what revelation, what understanding have you come to that will help you change the way you think? No one ever answer. Wayne!
To keep your thoughts on things above.
Say again?
To keep your thoughts on things above.
Okay, give me an example. Okay. You have a nice answer, but now I need the practical example. Guy? Any ideas? You know you're thinking.
Pleasure.
Do you think about what you're thinking of? Okay, think about it, then give me an answer just now. Oh,
For example, maybe at nights, lately I've been battling to sleep because my mind's running away with me. I find if I pray or just repeat things in my head over and over again, it sort of settles my mind.
so you purposely focus on something.
Yeah.
It's difficult at first, but you
Yeah.
find that after a while it actually becomes
It works.
easier.
Yeah.
It works, there we go, good example. Second row, yeah? Anybody? Norman! What do you think you can do to change the way you think? There's no right or wrong answer here, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to like, oh, it's ridiculous. No, I want to see that. See, it says here, think about what you're thinking about, right? So we're in agreement that we should think about what we're thinking about. Now I'm asking you practically, what are you going to do about it when you realize what you're thinking about? What do you do?
I found what works for me, same like with Ali. If I catch myself thinking something like that, I stop it. I try to throw it out of my mind.
Now we need a practical example. How?
Yeah.
It's good, you're right. You need a practical example.
Expose myself. I tell someone.
So you make yourself accountable. Yeah, that's one, right? Strauss!
See the silver lining. Make it a positive thing instead of a negative thing.
Example.
Something bad happens to you, see it as a positive thing.
But
This is where you grow and
But you have to purposely do that. Yes. On purpose.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah, I like you talk to me a lot about what I'm hearing in my head, the music.
Oh, that freaks you out a little bit.
Yeah,
But it scores you, it actually does cause you to pay attention to what's going on. I think a lot of times you walked around, you don't even realize you're doing something. You ever noticed it? People say to you, why do you do this? Or why do you act a certain way? You're like, what are you talking about?
yeah, it's like,
What's it called? The blind spot. What do you call it?
yeah.
In the Jari's window, eh? The blind spot, you don't see it. It's so much a part of you that you behave and talk a certain way. And it comes to a friend or person that actually cares about you and says, what's that about? And you think, really? Do I really do that? And then when people tell you that, so you're right, being accountable is a way. Allowing the person to speak into your life and don't get offended by what they're saying, and that causes you to actually pay attention. You go, wait a minute, I actually do that. Okay, then why do I do that? See, then you go into this deep process and you go, okay, why do I think this way? It's been years now, and I still realize something that when I was a youngster. I realized that's why I used to do that. It's taken years for me to come to that. It's just because you're in the consistent mode of looking at what you're thinking about, looking at and realizing that, yes, a lot of things are going on in the world and in Jericho and in the country and everywhere else, but the only thing you can really have control over is your thoughts, what you do. That's what you should have control over. And when you're in addiction, whether it's alcohol or drugs, you find that you lose control of that. You become very explosive, spontaneous. Right? That's what happens. And that's not the way we should live. We should be more controlled from an internal perspective. You cannot be controlled from an internal perspective if you just listen to, look at, speak about whatever comes up. When you're sitting in the smoking area or you're sitting at the dining room table, you have a choice to get involved in the conversation. You have a choice to say what is right or wrong in that situation. You have a choice to do it. You have a choice to listen to certain things. The nice thing about getting older is that selective hearing is fantastic. It really is. You can actually be in a room and actually ignore what the person is saying. It's actually so easy. Have I ever heard that when you're younger, at a certain age, you can still pick up certain tones? Have you heard about that? Have you heard about that? You can hear certain, and when you get to a certain age, it's gone. And every age you get to, so I've lost certain tones. It's apparently, according to science, I can't hear certain waves anymore. So maybe that's why you get a selective hearing. So a certain pitch in music, a certain pitch of the guitar doesn't do what it used to do for you. So that's one of the nice things about getting older. Okay, think about what you're thinking about, chapter 7. The Word of God teaches us that we should spend our time thinking about. Spend our time on what we're thinking about. The psalmist said that he thought about or meditated on the precepts of God. So there's the thing now. You choose what you meditate on. You choose what you look at. If I choose to sit on Facebook for 5 hours and read all the news, guess what I'm going to think about for the rest of the day? Is that thing. If I choose to sit in a negative conversation for most of the day complaining, guess what I'm going to be like in that afternoon? I'm going to be in a negative conversation in my head and I'm going to be quite a negative person. So we need to on purpose. And that's why it speaks about the scripture that if you meditate on the word day and night, you'll make your ways prosperous. It actually makes a statement. Meditate in day and night, that's a heavy one, man. Whereas sitting day and night staring at the Bible, day and night. I think he's just trying to bring it to your attention that what you focus on will become. What you focus on, you'll start becoming. It will start becoming such a part of your life that you'll believe what you're focusing on, what you're listening to, what you're speaking about. That's the practical example of how you're going to change what you think. You start changing what you say, start changing what you pay your attention, what you look at, and start changing what you listen to. That's where music sometimes comes in. If you're not going to change what you're listening to, you're not going to change what you looked at. So you leave now and you've overcome the drugs, you've been clean for a few months. And you leave and you listen to the same things, you watch the same things, and you speak about the same things. What will you start doing? The same things. So that's a practical example of how you change what you're thinking about. Change what you say, change what you look at, change. Then you'll start changing what you do. So it's not overnight. You watch the inspirational movie. They say that in the first few minutes, the man connects to the hero. So all the guys watch Fast and the Furious, all of us become The Rock, or all of us become... It's the truth. It's natural. And the same as the lady. The lady will connect to the leading lady in the movie in the first few minutes. I remember you go and watch a movie, you come out, you feel inspired. When you're watching a cowboy movie and they shock everybody, you walk out and you think, whoa, like Doc Holliday. I mean, one of my favorite movies, Tombstone. Doc Holliday for me, wow. You walk out for the afternoon, you feel like empowered. I mean, by the next day it's gone. And I can tell you one thing, if I kept focusing on that thing, even if I became a complete unity and hit I'll be Doc Holliday for the rest of my life. You will, because I'm focusing on it. If I'm focusing on where Doc Holliday, you've seen these guys that play these roles, play these spots. You've seen these youngsters are in the street and they look like the rapper, they look like their favorite rapper, but they can't rap for anything. Now you stop believing that about yourself. You stop acting that way. That's what's very important to make sure you focus on the correct things. So you become what you focus on. If you focus on something that's destructive, what will you start becoming? I'm going to ask you, are drugs constructive or destructive? Those of you that have been proper addiction, what started happening in your life? You start destroying. Even fantastic, even things you think, I could have messed it up. We've been there. Because you're focusing on destructive things. You're focusing on something that's destructive. You're going to start becoming destructive. Have you seen how at the center, how positive and negative hang out and they just have happy days? Have you noticed that? You always got a group of guys, two of them positive, two of them negative, and they have a fantastic conversation. Have you seen that? No! No, don't see that. The negative guys are in a corner, or they have negative days, they draw towards you. They have to try. I can see he's negative as well. I don't go, no, you don't think that, do you? I can see, there we go, there's a positive guy. It's a natural thing for us. We draw towards what's going on inside of us. So when you get upset, why this happened, why that, why are you on boundaries, or whatever the situation, ask yourself the question, why are you drawn to that? It's because you focus on it. So it tells you what's going on inside your head. So think about what you're thinking about. Start paying attention to what's going on around you. Start listening to those around you. Start hearing. Start really hearing. You're going to change your life. That means you spent a lot of time pondering and thinking on the ways of God. His instructions and teachings. Psalms 1 verse 3 says that the person who does this shall be like a tree firmly planted and tended by the streams of water, ready to bring forth its fruit in its season. Its leaf also shall not fade or wither, and everything he does shall prosper and come to maturity. Who likes that part? Huh? I like it. That's fantastic. So whatever I do will prosper. I'll be like a tree with green. Don't you all want to be green?
Yes.
But then the second part that speaks about that those that don't do that are the complete opposite of what it's saying here. And like I said just now, the majority of us that are here, we've got to a place, we fall into the latter half of that song. So it tells you that you've been focusing and pondering on the wrong things, on the bad things. If you're going to believe what the Word says and what the Scripture says, it says that if you focus on the right things, it's impossible for you not to start prospering. It's impossible. It is very beneficial to think about God's Word. The more time a person spends meditating on the Word, the more he will reap from the Word. Be careful what you are hearing. The measure of thought and study you give to the truth you hear. Be careful. It says, will be a measure of virtue and knowledge that comes back to you, and more besides will be given to you who hear. This here is telling you that at the end of the day, when you're at older age, when you're at the age of understanding or age to be able to sign your own checks, and age to be able to say yes and no, everything that's going on in your life right now is almost 100% your doing. There are things that happen. There are people that are here that have sad things happen to them, especially when they were young. Especially. And I'll just be very firm here. It happened a long time ago, and you need to find the strength and you need to take on the grace that God's given you to overcome what happened 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. You need to. You need to. Because you're in a place now where you are responsible. And whoever did whatever to you, they will take responsibility for what they did to you when they pass, especially if they've not asked for forgiveness or made right inside themselves. But guess what? If you have allowed it to make it destructive or use it for blame of why you're not changing your life, guess who will be held responsible for that? Not that person that did it to you. You. This is what a scripture. It tells us that the more time we spend thinking about the word we read and hear, the more power and ability we will have to do it. We got really good at what we've done in the past. And we got like life stories and we got secrets and you got good at that. It was natural for you. It wasn't a difficult thing to do those things after a while. You were good at it because the more time and energy you focus on the things that more became you, the easier it was for you to do that. You don't slip and fall and end up with a straw in your nose or oh, oopsie. Oh no, check this bottle. Where does this come from? Come on. You focus and your behavior will take you towards it, draw you towards it. So it's no one else's fault, especially now. It's no one else's fault. Even if you had a bad day today, you leave the rehab and everything just went wrong for you, it will still be your choice to go and buy that stuff or to use that stuff. It's fact. You are focused on the wrong things because another person can leave and have a bad day and they will choose not to follow after that stuff because they are focused on something different to what you will focus on when you relapse. The more revelation knowledge we have about we have read or heard, basically this tells us that we will get from the Word of God what we put into it. So we need to really focus in this time Why are we separated from society? Why are we separated from, why we got rules and regulations? Because it causes you, it actually puts you in a position to think about what you're thinking about. And what happens, we get so riled up because of things being unfair that we waste time focusing on things we shouldn't be thinking about. If you can come to this place and you can focus on what's going on inside of you, and focus on how you respond or react to certain situations, that's how you start turning life. Then you take that when you leave, and trust me, on the first day there could be a situation. On the second, on the third, there could be a situation. But if you take what you've learned here and you realize it's all about what's happening around you, but it's how I respond and how I think about things, how I perceive the thing, that's what my life changes. And only then will it change. Yes, I wish that there's some luck that happens when you leave, or if you call it luck. The good things can come your way. But if you focus on the right things, it's impossible for you not to do well. Notice especially the promise that the amount of thought and study we devote to the word will determine the amount of virtue and knowledge that will come back to us. Whatever measure we use, we have the measure that comes back to us. So if you're using a lot of drugs, destruction will be a lot more. No? Vara's Expository Dictionary of Biblical Words says that in certain scriptures of the King James Version, the Greek word dunamis, I like that, meaning power, is translated virtue, inner strength. So when they speak about having virtue, it speaks about having inner strength. It's a nice thing, especially for a man having virtue. It sounds very powerful. They're talking about inner strength. If you look at us, many of us that are in addiction, we don't have much inner strength. We don't have much virtue. But virtue is something that you can build up. Inner strength is something you can build up. If you're focusing your muscles in the gym more than what's going on inside of you, you can be a guy with big muscles but no character. So when someone boos or bars you either kill them or you run away. According to Strong's New Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible, another translation of dunamis is ability. Most people do not delve into the Word of God very deeply. As a result, they get confused about why they are not powerful Christians living victorious lives. Understand, it's principle. So when someone recently gets principle this. The truth is that most of them really don't put much effort of their own into the study of the Word. They may go out and hear others teach and preach the Word. They may listen to sermon tapes or read the Bible occasionally, but they're not really dedicated to making the Word a major part of their lives, including spending time thinking about it. The flesh is basically lazy. This wants to be comfortable, man. This wants to be comfortable. And many people want to get something for nothing, with no effort on their part. However, that really is not the way it works. I will say it again. A person will get out of the Word what he's willing to put in. Ask the question, how much effort have you put in? Think about it. How much effort do we put in? Not a religious effort, heartfelt. Believing in faith that what the Word says it will do, it will do. Heartfelt. I feel it's happening. I can feel it. It's going to happen. No. It's doing it despite the way you feel, despite thinking, does it look like it, and sticking to it. I remember many years ago, yes, I'm getting old. It's years ago now. I had an experience at church in Evansfontein, and I heard about how real he is, like how he's tangible, knowing he's there. Some of you might have experienced it. But I wanted so much more. So I started praying for an infilling, an overwhelming, complete change in my life concerning my belief. So I'd pray in the morning, I'd pray at night, I'd spend literally hours doing this. And it would almost stay the same or whatever after day, but I'd continue and continue and continue and continue and continue. I just kept on. Nothing really happened. Obviously, I was learning a lot. And I must admit, I was feeling quite at peace. And I remember bumping into two guys at the mall. I was remember their names, Ian and Jose. Also big Christians, and I was getting tired, man. I'm like pushing for this, and I really want this. Because if you ask, you just ask. I'm asking for this change. This. I want to change. I want a complete change. Knowing and understanding, and to walk in a different place when it comes to ministry. And they said, other people said, Jose said he felt like praying. Do I want to join him? Everyone think, yes, man, I've been praying for a while now. I did. I was like, maybe I should chill out. And I said, something, because of me focusing what I should focus on, I said yes. And I joined Ian and Jose and went there. And I remember he started speaking to me and he said to me that you've been seeking, out of the blue, praying. And he looked at me and said, you've been seeking something. You've been asking God for something and God says he's going to give it to you. Remember that? Yeah. So I thought, oh, fantastic. Lekker, awesome. Went home. No, there we go. And I woke up and Michelle said to me, do you remember what happened to you last night? But I remember I woke up and I felt really like, I was really like, phew, I felt different. I really like, wow. So I went to bed late. And she said to me, you know what happened to you last night? I said, no. What happened to me last night? She said, well, you woke me up. I said, okay. And she says, you were laughing. But not just normal laughing. You were, like she says, from yeah. I was laughing from yeah. For about 20 minutes. Well, in itself, I know people speak about it, but in itself, I mean, imagine being with your partner, your wife or your husband, and you wake up and this person is laughing different, not from yeah, but yeah, like from the depth of my stomach. She said, about 20 minutes. She said she tried to wake me up, but I wouldn't wake up. So she finally left me alone. I just watched her for about 20 minutes. I thought, wow. But I don't remember anything. I don't remember it at all. So I'm praying for this experience, and I don't remember it happening. All I know is that something's happened. There's a shift. It's a complete shift. And I remember that the ministry that I was in, it changed. It wasn't like there's a moment. It's not. So I had a moment there. But everything I asked for, I started experiencing. I understood the scripture better. I could see certain things when I spoke to people. And I was on fire, man. I was so on fire, I thought I was going nuts. I thought, I'm in a lunatic asylum. No, I was so like, woo. I just knew that what I believed was true. I just knew it. I remember sitting at the restaurant that I used to work at, and I sat there and I just knew. It was almost like, there was no doubt. You couldn't say anything. And I remember that certain other religious sects, or at least would try and argue with me about things, or try and convince me that this is the right way. And I remember always being able to find an answer in Scripture, always. Until at one point, and I won't tell you what sect it was, at one point they said, you know what, it's a pity, because you'd really make a good one like us. Because it doesn't matter what they said, it was just, and it wasn't an arrogance, it was gentle. You know, it made an impact. I remember wanting to talk to friends of mine, and I remember thinking to myself, yes, I really want to tell them about God, about Jesus. I really want to do that, but I don't want to put them off. You know what I mean? And I remember just standing there thinking it, and then my friend said his mother's sick. And I thought, okay, well, no hidden agenda. I said, okay, let me come with me, I'll pray for your mom. So I remember going to the back of the kitchen, we stood on top, and I prayed for him, and I remember then I get this epiphany, revelation leading in the Sinner's Prayer. And I did it. I watched this young man go from not believing at all to coming to cell group, stop smoking, asking to be a cell leader. That's what God started doing in my life. Because I was willing to focus on what I needed to focus on. When I fell away, I started focusing and thinking about the wrong things. I allowed myself to feed those things. I allowed these, because you have to renew your mind. So despite me going through things like this, despite my life changing like that, there were certain things that would come at me and I'd go like, what? I just know when to pray for the sick. I mean, now I've got this thought in my head, what is wrong with me? But that's the enemy. Remember, the enemy suggests. But God brings you to a place where He actually causes revelation, understanding, and a conviction till you start seeing what you're thinking about. Remember, when we're distracted and we're running around and doing things we should, we don't care. We just think. We just let it run. Drive past someone that pisses you off, then you're planning on how you're going to kill them for 10 minutes. So then you get a girlfriend that finds you that irritates you, you just mull it over and over again of how wrong she was and how she missed it. And then your boss tells you you're late for work, go home, come back for discipline the next day, and you just think about how, no, you shouldn't have done it that way. You just let your head run. But when you come to a place and you start realizing, woo, guess what will start happening? You won't focus on those things because those things become a big reality in your life. I mean, not just if you're a hurting person, what happens to you a lot? You get hurt a lot. Guess what you do? You hurt a lot as well. It's everybody else. It's not you. It's everybody else that's missing it, and then there are people that love you are watching you, but wait a minute, you're doing this, and you correct, and you go, and you freak out about everything that happened, and you deter from the fact of what you just did. So now you've stole $1,000 from your mother's account, and you bought all these drugs. And then they catch you. And you got all the reason of why you stole it. You got fired from your job, and you never understand me, and you always give me hassles, and you never give me anything anyway. If we go on this tangent and you look at it and you go like, what the flip? What are you talking about? And then you come to a place and you realize, you start thinking about what you're thinking about and why you do what you do. So you realize, what was wrong with me, man? What is wrong with me? You've heard of Pantera. Who's heard of Pantera? Hey? Some of you might know Pantera. Ah, I checked it. You're the youngest guy that said it, Pantera. Congratulations, I think. There's all these bands, the Krupps, Bars, Young Gods, I think Ken Loma. It's heavy music, ministry. It's some intense stuff. Peter won't say anything, he just smiled at me. Just in case you what are you thinking about? Yeah, what are you thinking about? And I remember going to Jefferson College, you had cassettes. Who remembers cassettes? You remember cassettes? There we go, Strauss, I like it. And I remember I used to the old Toyota Corolla, the old box-shaped Toyotas. Some of you might, it was stolen many years later, you know what I'm talking about. I did a cassette that I used to have, I was like cassette Cowboys from Hell. And I remember having Metallica Justice for All, Marshall Puppets. I remember having a special cassette made by a friend of mine, Paul, with all the industrial music. Nine Inch Nails, CD Puppy, heavy stuff. And automatically, I remember when my mother took me to college, I used to put that music on full ball. Full ball. And I did the thing, and she tried to put it soft, I put it loud. There was no soft, there was no remorse, there was no like, shame on mother's poor ears. You know what I mean? I used to imitate the sounds from Sepultura. I used to be able to do that with my voice when I was younger. It was crazy. And one day, it was one day where I sat there and I realized, wow. So I remember phoning my mother. It was a few years ago. I said, hi, how are you? She said, on the couch. I said, Mom, I want to say I'm sorry. She said, for what? I apologize for that. Yeah. Sometimes just, some of you are into classical. Imagine me pumping that music, you know, and I don't care. She was trying, I remember she was trying to put it softer. I remember it. Don't you remember? She crosses me. I said, look at that. Yeah, I remember getting my mother and my father to buy me stuff. My father brought me back a record in the old Jericho Small Street. They said all the, it was illegal once, Iron Maiden and all that stuff. It wasn't allowed. You couldn't just bring it into any music shop. You couldn't find Iron Maiden or Exploited. You heard Exploited punk. Wow, I convinced my dad to buy me this record. And I didn't even know it was that heavy. It was more for image than anything else, I must be honest. I finally stopped that record. I was Exploited for Ozzy Osbourne, No Rest for the Wicked. No Rest for the Wicked. But I remember the back, my father obviously turned it around and said, I couldn't even say it on camera yet. I said heavy stuff. Like Love, Anarchy, and the one I remember the picture, I was saying, what the hell are you listening to? Hey? Look at what I was exposing myself to, man. And then I wonder why my life's a mess. I'm not talking about the band in particular, but look at what I was focused on. Look at what I was listening to. And what did my life portray? It portrayed what I listened to, what I was focused on. The music I listened to was dark. So what did I become? I became dark. The Exploiters, Anarchy for me. They put the A into anarchy. You know what I say? I was completely rebellious. I didn't listen to anybody. Nobody. Anybody in authority, I didn't listen. I didn't listen, and I was fine with that. I was fine with freaking my mother out of the music. I was fine with freaking out all my authority. I was fine with it. So one day I realized, wow, and I think that's where every one of us have to come to. We've got to come to a place, and we've got to realize, what do we think, what do we focus on, what makes us tick? Because if you don't change what makes you tick, you're not going to change your life. Drugs don't make us tick. There's something else that ticks that causes us to go to drugs. There's a perception we have inside. We think about certain things that justifies our behavior because we can justify why we take it so much. And we can sit in each other's space and be completely, you've got friends, you can sit there, you maybe just killed someone and you guys are fine with each other. Remember when I used to work at the clubs? You know that someone got really hurt. And you're fine. Boom. The truth is that most of them that really don't put much effort of their own into study the word. They may go out and hear others teach, preach the word. They may listen to sermon tapes or read the Bible occasionally, but they're not really dedicated to making the word a major part of their lives, including spending time thinking about it. The flesh is basically lazy, and many people want to get something for nothing, with no effort. However, that is really not the way it works. I will say it again. A person will get out of the word what he's willing to put in. Meditating on the word. Blessed, happy, fortunate, prosperous, and enviable. Can I ask you, would you guys like to be happy?
Yes.
Would you see yourself as fortunate? Huh? To be fortunate, happy, prosperous? Anybody don't want to be prosperous? It's not just money, it's many other things. Anybody don't want it? Or enviable. And those people look at you and go, wow, man, I wish I could be like him. Would you like that? I think all of us would like that. It says, is the man, and for you ladies, all the woman, who walks and lives not in the counsel of the ungodly. Walks not in the counsel of the ungodly. If you're hanging around and sitting around with people that are ungodly, or don't believe, etc., it says, blessed are you that don't sit in their counsel. Following their advice, their plans, and their purposes. Nor stands submissive and inactive in the path where sinners walk. Nor sits down to relax and rest where they are scornful and the mockers gather. I think we're not careful, we have those places here at the center. But his delight, or her delight, and desire in the law of the Lord, and his law, precepts, instructions, teachings of God, he habitually meditates, ponders, and studies by day and by night. According to Webster, the word meditate means to reflect on. To reflect on. To plan or intend in the mind. To engage in contemplation. Revised Exposition Dictionary of the Biblical Words says that meditate means primarily to care for, to attend, practice, be diligent in, to practice, is the prevailing sense of the word. To ponder, imagine, to premeditate. Proverbs 4:20 says, my son, attend to my words. Consent and submit to my sayings. If we put Proverbs 4:20 together with these definitions of the word meditate, we see that we attend to God's word by meditating on it. Meditating on it, mulling over. Like, you know, when I choose, I cut. Meditate. By pondering it, by contemplating it, by reversing or practicing it in our thinking. The basic idea is that if you want to do what the Word of God says, you must spend time thinking about it. See, when you come to a place concerning the Word of God, come to a place to change your life, is that no matter what happens, you automatically get to a place where you would normally know this happened, and your normal response would be that. If you're meditating and you're thinking about what happens, the thing comes again, because it will come again. You'll be tested with the same thing over and over and over again. But if you've been meditating the right thing, you'll finally make the good decision. You'll finally make the right decision. You'll finally walk away what you should have walked away from. You'll finally say no to what you should have said no to. You will finally say yes to what you should have said yes to. And that's questioning the powerless. If only. There must have many if onlys. If only I said yes, if only I said no, if only I'd listened. I mean, many times you've got the revelation or understanding, it doesn't matter how silent it is, but many times when we made mistakes, many times we messed up, there's always been some form of warning, even if it's a gentle. Always. Even in relationships. You sit there and you think, wow, this is the person I wanted to be with. And there's a moment in that talk where you look at them and you go, it's like a quick thing, it's a quick thing. You're like, nah. It is. Then you end up with this huge whirlwind of a romance where it's completely destructive, and then you remember that moment when you said, you went like, it's like that moment, you think, oh, suck it enough. But it's been, I've had it in my life where there's a moment, everything's perfect, this is what you want, and there's a moment, something gets said in a certain way, something gets done in a certain way, and in that moment you go, sure. This thing goes. And then you talk it away, you reason it away, and then if 2 years later you sit in this relationship where you just tear each other apart, you're using from Yatakara, you don't trust each other. There's a warning already there. See, but if you're meditating on focus, you to focus on it, it'll be a lot more powerful. You'll go according to the word. You'll go according to what it says. Instead of going according to what you feel. Remember the old sayings, practice makes perfect. We really do not expect to be experts at anything in life without a lot of practice. So why would we expect Christianity to be any different? Meditation produces success. This book of the law shall not depart of your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, that you may observe and do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous, and then you shall deal wisely and have good success. If you want to be a success and prosper in all your dealings, the Bible says you must meditate on the Word of God day and night. How much time do you spend thinking about the Word of God? If you are having problems in any area of your life, an honest answer to this question may disclose the reason why. If you're honest. Let me just tell you something. Living righteously or living the Christian way is not something you try. I will give it a try. It's something you live. It's something you become. Don't try it. Let me try it. Live it. Actually live it. That's who you are. Be who you are. Be who the scripture says you are. Be that. Despite the way you feel, despite the mistakes you make, be that. Because if you really believe that, if you still have quirks or ways about you don't like, it's a matter of time until you wake up one morning and it's gone. I remember when I first realized that God loves me very much. I think I was 19 when I got, I really been really happy in my life, and I used to swear quite a bit. Coming from Boxford, you can imagine the words that came out of my mouth. I remember walking and going, it came out of my mouth. Yeah, professing this new faith, this newfound faith, this new way of thinking. And I remember just believing it, realizing what I'm thinking, and realizing what I'm doing. And I remember just saying, under my breath, I remember still the passageway there by gazebo, the old gazebo, going into the lavatories, the toilet. But anyway, and I remember saying, you know what, according to what I've learned and what has happened in my life, I shouldn't swear anymore. And all I said is, God, help me stop swearing. Remember, just help me stop swearing. But I said it.